A lot of people, as they research this whole narcissism thing, they want to know what happens as people who are highly narcissistic get older. And the question, I think, becomes, does narcissism get better with age or worse? And in this video, I want to talk about a little of both. Overall, narcissists do get worse with age, if that's the quick answer that you're looking for. Having narcissistic personality disorder is just like having any other disorder, and those usually do get worse with age. Some of what happens and what worsens over time is as follows. We'll go through a little list here. What happens is they alienate everyone, and this starts to get worse, of course, as they get older. I truly believe when a narcissist reaches the end of their days, there's no one left. There's no one left in their harem. There's no one left in their corner. When talking about aging narcissists, I have to talk about my dad. He died in 2020, and he was 70-some years old. I'm not sure, 73, something like that. I'm positive that he died alone, and not just because it was in 2020 with times of COVID. I know that because he didn't talk to me. He didn't talk to my half-sisters or their family or my family. There was no one. These people are bridge burners, as I'm sure you know all too well. And I don't like to take these videos down a super depressing road here, but my dad died alone because he did this. He alienated everyone, made everyone feel awful about themselves with his mean, cruel, judgmental, nasty, mean bullshit, and was just a crotchety old man. And after pushing everyone away, there's no one left because everyone just said, yeah, you know what? We don't need this. So thanks, but no thanks, I think is what that pretty much becomes. An aging narcissist will also become more self-centered, and I know it doesn't quite seem possible. How could somebody already so self-centered become even more ego and me-centric, right? So what typically will happen in this case is when people get older, health issues will begin to pop up. And with age, that's pretty much always going to happen. And these become the topics of the narcissist's conversation. What's going on with them, and more perhaps whining and moaning and bitching about maybe doctor's appointments or more money for medication or tests. And everything becomes them and their illnesses and what's going on. Also, a big concern for a lot of them is who will take care of me? Who will take care of me as I begin to get older and maybe get sick or have these issues and overall just deteriorate? It's a serious question. A lot of them don't really have a good answer or a good fix for. I'm going to dig into a little bit more on this a little bit later in the video, so stick around until the end for all of that. If you can actually believe it, the immaturity level of a narcissist ramps up with age. I believe mentally we all kind of go full circle, and by the end we're all just kind of shitting our pants and we don't care. But for some people that are highly narcissistic, as they get older, they give less of a fuck and they act more like kids in a needier, more selfish, and more juvenile way. So definitely have fun with all of that. Paranoia is a huge thing that I need to touch on, even if it's just for a second here. It's something that a lot of narcissists will suffer from, and it's actually a common sign of narcissism that I don't think a lot of people really know about. And yes, this does get worse as they get older. Think about it. Think about why paranoia would be something a narcissist would deal with and why that would get worse over time. How many people are they alienating, pushing away, tormenting, pissing off, abusing? Think about the harem and everybody who knows everybody in the harem. We could get up to hundreds and hundreds of people. So after a while, you're going to start looking over your shoulder. And more to this whole paranoia thing is when you play the victim, you always feel like you have a target on your back. And people are out to get you, watching or stalking you. I know a lot of people have heard them say things like, I know you're following me. I know you're stalking me. I know you're looking at my social media. I know you're sending emails. I know you're calling with, blocked numbers and this, that. And it's hella paranoia. If you'd like to talk one-on-one about what you're going through or what you've gone through in a toxic relationship, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com to set up private chats with me. Anger is always something that's going to intensify as people who are highly narcissistic get older. They'll be less and less willing to do anything and go even remotely out of their way and out of their comfort zone. I think these are other things that illnesses affect as people get older and get these sicknesses. To be fair, we all get bitchier than usual when we don't feel good. Narcissists get mean as well when their supply level drops. We all lose our looks, we all lose our luster, we all lose certain things that just make us a hot commodity. And when people who are highly narcissistic don't have that anymore, their anger will skyrocket. Rules also don't apply to highly narcissistic people, and this only increases with age. All in all, they become very loud, obnoxious children who just feel entitled to do whatever they want. And along with not caring about the rules, they also really don't care that they're abusive to others. Not that they ever truthfully do, but I think all of this fizzles away and gets worse the older they get. They already have all of these issues. What's happening is these things are just getting exacerbated and they're amplifying and getting worse. A really important thing I want to stress is every relationship that these people have will fail. And this is what I talked about at the beginning when I spoke about my highly narky dad that abused me for a lot of my life. There might still be people left at the end who talk to them, but they will do this out of feeling obligated to do so, feeling some kind of obligation, or maybe they drew the short straw at Christmas and they have to spend time with this person. Anyone who does spend time with them near the end isn't going to be somebody who actually wants to. They feel an obligation, they feel a responsibility, or nobody else will, something like that. Narcissists are folks who can be surrounded by people and have no one willing to be on their side and fight in their fight. It must be awful to, in some cases, be surrounded by people and yet feel completely alone and know everything that they know. The fear of not only dying, but dying alone. And because you are the way you are, that really, really all has to weigh heavy on someone's mind. The point that I wanted to touch on that I talked about a few minutes ago is, in some ways, some narcissists do kind of come around a little bit. Some have near-death experiences. I think that scares the fuck right out of people and can make them act right. But that's just it, though. It makes them act right. A lot of narcissists are playing nice just to make sure they have someone to take care of them, just to make sure that maybe they have somewhere to stay and they don't have to be in the hospital or the nursing home. They actually have somewhere where they can be. To not be forgotten and make sure someone is still there is really important to somebody highly narcissistic. I had a near-death experience, and I know that that changes people. It sure as hell changes me. It changes your mind about like a lot. Not always for the better, but I think as people get older and possibly sicker and unfortunately weaker, I feel that in some ways at least, narcissists are forced to be a little bit nicer and conform, but they only ever do that a little bit, I promise. And again, I'm sure that's something that you know just as well as I do. But this is the part where I want to hear from you. Tell me what your thoughts are on all of this. What happens to highly narcissistic people as they get older? If you would like to support my work here, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, join the Survivors Army for bonus content, and if you could please share my channel and my videos if you find them helpful in any way. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, Survivor, and take care of yourself.